So in order to get best question, don't frighten people. Tell people, why do you think you're beautiful? You know, instead say, why are you so ugly? Yeah? So the best way to get one is, why do you think you're so beautiful? Yeah? So why do you think you're innovative? Oh, we have a plan, good. Then who is in charge of this plan? Oh, my manager. Then you know it's not important. How much is the manager paid? Oh, X amount of dollars. 60% lower than me. Okay. Then you know it's not really important. The higher the salary, the higher the position, whoever is in charge of anything means that that thing is important. Yeah? Money talk, somebody was saying earlier. Then the other thing is process. Process proves as another sign. Then great, yeah? So it's getting hopeful this company is innovative. Then you ask, do you support innovation in the company? And then people usually say, of course we do. Then we're at the meeting, the boss is there, and then the boss is talking about ideas, innovation, nobody else talks. So much for innovation. So, then propaganda, how many times do you encourage it? How many times do you talk about it, specific moments? And ultimately, performance. Most Asian companies are what we call aspirants of innovation, not practitioners of innovation. That is the struggle. It's not about thinking, it's about doing, it's about building, it's about moving forward. So, because of the work that we managed to do, we are quite fortunate. A lot of people refer us to a lot of clients. We serve in 18 cities, mainly in Asia, from billion-dollar companies, different industries, retail, telco, banking, F&B, governments, and sometimes very interesting when we get to work with governments because of policy, they're trying to review policy and how to encourage innovation, luxury experiences, but most of all, they're all Asian companies. So we don't only serve big companies, we also serve small companies, we also serve startups because the exciting thing is that there is an opportunity to see how these organizational models can change and what we call how these organizations are ready for the 21st century. So right now, the work that we do, all of our clients, we have a direct revenue impact. And what I mean by revenue impact is that we are literally changing business structures, processes that you can definitely put a dollar sign next to those things. It's not perceived ROI, it's direct ROI. So that's the exciting thing that we managed to do with our proprietary system. So enough of us, let's talk about all of us, right? Let's talk about Asia. Now, if you look at this region, the challenge we have is that we are always in a fast car, depending on the timing, of course, like traffic. So, but the thing is that we're always moving, but have you ever thought about this? What is the purpose and why are you doing it? And we find that this is the thing that really stops CEOs in their tracks. What is this purpose? Why are you doing this? Obviously, the answer is make money and put food on the table. Okay, that is expected. Everyone is going to do that. Yeah? But the thing is that if companies, individuals, even yourself, if you are going to take on a new job, a new assignment, and you don't understand the meaning and the purpose of that work, you should not do it. Because that means you don't have any more new ideas to enhance or to add to it. Yeah? And have you ever thought that this is the thing that I always show my Chinese friends? You can produce the best food in the world, but you cannot create one. Yeah? We are the shopping malls of the West. And then yesterday we were meeting some developers here, because we are trying to bring in our shopping mall concept that we created from scratch. It's a new model. It's about iTunes and Disney coming together. And the funny thing is, this is the problem. You have a lot of malls here, but they're all the same brands. There's just one brand, this set of brands moving over to here and there, but this is not the problem that India faces. But the whole of Asia faces this problem. If you go to China, there's a whole street of malls. They all have similar brands, right? So that's where the problem is, right? And we have more years of civilization than the West. How old is the United States of America? 200 plus, yeah? But the net contribution and development of innovation, the United States alone as a country, more than dominate almost 60% of what I'm talking about revenue for innovation. 60% of the world's economy. That's how scary it is. Yeah? So, during the last few days, a lot of speakers were talking about brands like P&G. Now, if you look at all those companies, you talk about Microsoft, you talk about P&G, these are American companies, right? So, it's great to talk about those companies, but the question is, they can do it, why can't we do it? Yeah? So, and still, the frustrating thing for us is that most of the time, our proposition in China, in India, in Singapore is still they are cheaper. And that's horrible, because we go to the best schools in the world, and we are still cheaper. That's our best differentiation. Something is wrong. Yeah? And even, you know, it was interesting to see that everyone's so excited about Starbucks here. And I was wondering what's going to happen to Indian tea. Who is going to take up the challenge to create the best Indian tea brand to challenge Starbucks? Yeah, food for thought, you know. We are so happy Starbucks is here. Thank God Starbucks is here. Not saying anything, I'm just saying it's interesting. So, after serving almost 1,000 Asian companies, what we realized is that Asian companies are happy to be the tallest trees in the forest. That's why we have the birds at Dubai. You know, it's very interesting when you think of things like that. But our Western friends are actually looking to be the soil of the new earth. If we are not going to compete to be the soil of the new earth, we will not shape the 21st century. We will not shape it. We will be consumers, we will be power generators, we will be supporters, we will be participants, we won't play the football, we won't play the cricket. I have to change it because I was speaking in other days in the football and cricket thing. So this is the reality of our world. People have called this the Asian century, and I'm sorry to use the word, it is not true. Because we are still shaped by Western technology, identity, institutional frameworks. We talk about the World Bank, IMF. We don't have anything that is there, and we need to start. And we need to start now. Yeah? So this is not an Asian century that's shaped by us yet. The best is yet to come. But where is it going to come from? It's going to come from you. It's going to come from you. That's why I said you have to think very carefully about your first job. And if you, as an Indian youth, have gained experiences in the West, you are an intelligent, young lady, young person, and you have the means to do it, you have to do something for your country and for Asia. You have to build a company that shapes the world. So the reality right now is, generally, we are designed by Americans, but assembled in Asia. Yeah? This is the very, very funny reality. Yeah? We talk about iPhone, but this is the truth. So, and you know what's the problem? The problem is, we Asians are very happy to make money when the river is flowing. You know, sometimes I golf. I don't play golf, but I have to follow because I'm trying to play golf. So, you know, I have to pretend to be daddy, you know. I said, Mr. Thomas, you know, there is this opportunity that we can do. We can shape the markets. You know, in T-York, it goes like, buying is good. Sales are up. Cash is rich. Don't need to do so much. Money is the new opium for a weak Asia. Money. Ideas is the new wealth of the 21st century. So think about it. Life is good, Lawrence. So, what we don't realize is that the river is running out of water. And the new business models are those that can build reservoirs of the 21st century, not rivers, right? And you know, this is the new situation that we are dealing with, the new platform, which is identity. So it's not just design, it's about the data that we are all sitting on. And it is about the platforms that we are building. We are happy to do a support network. You know, because of India and Indonesia, we have actually helped to save research in motion and give them a lifeline so that they can launch BB10. So you should give yourself a round of applause. So if they didn't have India and Indonesia, I don't know where BlackBerry will be. Yeah? But the fascinating thing is that here in India, there are talents and there are technology experts. Now the challenge is, why do we always need to subscribe to the fact that we produce and they create? And that is the question that we all have to ask ourselves. But there is a new storm rising. There is a new storm rising. In the past, there were the big four. There were a big four in products. The big four is Coca-Cola, McDonald's, P&G. Who's the fourth one? That means they have taken up all the resources of the world. They were able to mass produce them. Nestle is one of them. Right? So you have Unilever here, you have all these big companies. But there is a new storm rising that, like the earlier century, like the earlier period, if Asian companies are not ready, will be outpriced, outmaneuvered of these markets. That means right now, if you want to start a Coca-Cola company, it's very expensive. It's very, very hard to do that. So the new big four, and this is said by Eric Schmidt, the chairman of Google, is these four companies. They, for the first time in human history, whatever they do right now at a button in their servers far, far away, it will affect the destiny of billions of people in this world. And we are all on this platform. This is the new reality. This is another reality where we will be outmaneuvered. We won't have a share, we won't have a stake in the new world. And that's the thing. And there is no conspiracy theory. Our friends in California don't wake up one day and say, you want to crush Asians. They don't. They're just better than us. They are more conscious about it. It's not a conspiracy theory. Money is opium. We are happy with making money. That's the thing. Our problem is that we have outsourced innovation to the West. That is our truthful reality. Yeah? So, the thing we have to ask ourselves is three big questions. Why doesn't the rise of Asian means an influential Asian? Because we let it be so, right? Why is innovation so hard? So those are the questions we are always asking ourselves. And what will it take for Asian companies to shape the world? So the truth is, and we always ask this in meetings, what are you? Are you a pharmacist? Are you a nurse or a doctor? Most Asian companies are pharmacists. People produce and create things and then we sell. You know, that's fast money. Distribution channel. Or nurse. We can advise a bit, we can do, right? But the thing is that we need more companies to be the 1%. Yeah? We need more. We need more of the 1%. The 1% of value creators, not the 1% of contractors, right? So we need more people to move up the value chain. So I'm going to share 8 ideas that you can do this in your organization, or you should consider this if you're going to work for a big firm, or you should consider this if you're going to serve a design company. 8 proven ideas. For sure, guarantee will make money. Yeah? I'm going to show you your favorite person. First thing first, one of the key tests of innovation for a company is that people cannot fight without a cause. Yeah? So, if you are in a company that is very clear, it has a portfolio, but it's not very clear about the meaning and purpose of that portfolio, you are in trouble. Right? And the second thing is that as employees, if they don't understand the purpose of the company and the purpose of their work, that's another sign of trouble. And because they don't understand, they don't identify. And if they don't identify, there's no innovation. And this is really, really the missing gap. Most employees in Asian companies don't identify with the purpose and the mission of the company. They don't. They're happy to put food on the table. And they will do that. And whose fault is it? Well, you can say, well, it's my boss' fault. Yeah, it's both sides. There's no conversation, there's no quest, there's no question. Right? So this is one major issue about identification. There has to be a dialogue. What is the purpose and meaning of this work that I'm doing? So there is a company. If you know, how many of you print photos nowadays? Very few, right? I see only one hand right at the back. So there is this company that went through the same crisis. That they were in the photo printing business. They were a distributor of Kodak, right, in Singapore. So at the time, there was the falling demand of printing. So one of the things that we ask is, why is it culturally important? Why are you important as a company? What difference do you make? And what is the vision? Right? So we reviewed with them and they said that it's about making every moment worthwhile. It's about technology has changed. But the photos, the purpose of photos remain is that they only print the photos that matter. So it's not about printing volume, but it's about enhancing the value of the print, giving them higher quality, canvas, more materials, books, so that they can turn every picture into something meaningful. Right? It's about whenever they take a picture for development, it's because people trust them. It's not an issue of, hey, you want to print a print for you. No, people trust them. And also, this company's role is about turning these moments into unforgettable memories through a variety of creative ways. That means they do marks, they do books, they put it out on the website, they even have a software so that you can use it, you can add on to it, and be a global leader. So when we worked with them almost 5 years ago, they were a very small company. They have tripled their revenue from $1 million company to an $8 million company. They started with only 60 staff and now they have almost 200. And they were in an industry that people say is a sunset industry. A sunset industry but they turn it into a kind of a sunrise. So this is actually very possible if you clarify that. Yeah? So proven. Yeah? Second, the good news to all of you, especially the CEO sitting here, you do not need to motivate everyone to be innovative. You only need to motivate 10%. Yeah? And who are these 10%? If you change the way you promote people, people will naturally be innovative. If people are promoted on the basis of innovation. Yeah? So, the 4 usual steps is this. First, if a company has a non-productive focus, that means the company is doing. You're doing this, you're selling bread, you're selling property, you're selling all sorts of things, yeah? Which is the nature of most family-owned enterprises in Asia. So then you clarify the purpose, and then you clarify promotion to weed out all those non-productive behavior. That means, no, it's default. You're not productive. It's not the kind of behavior that I want. Then a small group of leaders start to emerge, and you reward them with promotion, and eventually, when these people join the top management, that's when you get innovative leadership. Now, a lot of people have spoken about Apple, but what you may want to read up on what Fortune wrote about Apple, it is proven that one of the big changes that Steve Jobs did was to reorganize Apple. It is not just a simple thing of, hey, Johnny, what's the latest design we can do? You know, it's not like that. He spent a lot of time in organization, yeah? And I'd like to share with you one of the reasons for Singapore's success is because the ruling party, I'm not a member of the party, citing an example, just disclaimer. One of the big reasons for our success was, if you know Singapore in the 1965, our political party was as messy, as noisy as it is. We had many factions in the Singapore government. People plotting against each other. It was going to be made into a movie, by the way. So you can watch the movie, The Hong Kong Stars, because the Singapore Stars are so, you know, so they had to get Hong Kong stars to act for Singapore. Yeah? So we're very good at that, bringing in foreign talent. So, you know, the PAP is the only political party in the world that every election cycle, every 4 years, they can retire 20% of the top ranking ministers. The theory was, if the people in power remain in power for too long, of course in Singapore there's only one man who can remain in power for too long, that's Lee Kuan Yew. You know, other than himself, everyone else have to step down and make way for younger people. And because of that system, the institution became more important than the personalities. Yeah, and it's only at the last election Lee Kuan Yew himself stepped down. Because he said it's time. So, alright, no disrespect to him, he's a great man. I have a lot of admiration for him, but you know it's time. So, the thing is this, yeah? If you want innovation and you can't change the way you promote people and group leaders, you can't have innovation. Your company, Tata, is a brilliant example of that. So you can't claim innovation if you don't change how you train leaders. That is a fact, and it's proven. It makes money if you do this well. So the other thing that you need to be careful is, you need to ask your boss, how do you think we should spend our time? This doesn't cost any money. We have found that in all organizations, if they have a disciplined approach to time, if they look at the way they are doing things in a particular way, innovation increases. So the strange number is this. 60-20-20. Now let me explain why 60-20-20. 60% is work until you die. No, not work until you die. Work until you're tired, you're seen as working. I don't know whether you have a culture here, but in other places, you always have to work and then the boss is there. So then, 20% is coaching. What is coaching? We found that if companies invested in coaching, that means every level, managers, senior managers, CEOs, they have time, disciplined time in a year they dedicated to coaching. That improved the innovation level. That improved the ability, you create a safe environment for people to share ideas. And then you get 20% of innovation. It's really, really fascinating. You can test it out. Yeah? But discipline, it's not ad hoc. You have to give time for these things. So, platform-based leadership, what does it mean? 90% of Asian companies don't profit from data. One of the things that we do when we first meet up a company is that we ask, how do you deal with data? And most people have very reliable, sales data, products, and everything. Yeah? That's not a problem. But the problem is the other element of the data. Who does what? How do you communicate this? How long do you take from ideation and then the process, the development, and then to the market. All those things. It's always act form. So one of the things that we love to do is what we call data mapping. We look at the organization and we map it, and then we say that what can we draw from here so that we can learn about the organization. And the sad truth is that, what is the best job? You should all try to become data analysts for companies. That's the new job position that is very, very strongly in demand, because not many people can interpret data. That's the biggest one. So if you're in that kind of field, if you have an understanding of data, good for you. For the next 20 years, you'll be a very happy man. So that's data analytics is very, very important right now in companies. I know you're bored about seeing this guy here on the knees. No choice. I thought you were 1%. So it's very interesting if you look at the evolution of Apple. When Apple started introducing its products, I don't know whether you have been following the court case between Apple and Samsung. Apple discussed ideas around the kitchen table. 15, unfortunately, all men. I don't know why. And talk about ideas. How many designers does Samsung have? Samsung claims they have almost hundreds and hundreds of designers, almost 1,000 I heard. Yeah? So it's not the number. It's innovation works best in small teams, because the truth is, innovation is a curated process. It doesn't work when you have thousands and thousands of people giving out hundreds and hundreds of ideas. You need people with the insight and the experience to be able to judge what is great and what is not great. Right? So that's the thing that you have to be honest about. It's not about, sometimes we do this thing and the MDs will tell us, hey Lawrence, I have got 1,000 staff. Why don't we ask them for ideas? Okay, have you ever heard this thing called imprinted innovation? What is imprinted innovation? That means you offer ideas based on what you have seen and experienced before. It's not a realization, so you draw up the same. So, for example, some of the most common ideas we will get in terms of product, we should make the design better. We should have better packaging. We should do what Steve Jobs does. But when you ask them what does it mean, I don't know. Do something. You're the designer. So the thing is that it's a curated process. You can't just, ask people about ideas. Most of the time you get common ideas, right? From common men. That's the fact of life, yeah? So that is